Okay, well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining today. Lots of things to get you updated on. This is a big day for Michigan's economy. As you all know, manufacturing was allowed to restart last Monday, but the big three are going back to work today: General Motors, Ford, and Chrysler. So hopefully that's another good indication that the economy is continuing to reopen, and hopefully things go well for all of them. So I've got several items I want to talk about today. We actually have a sort of a last-minute guest speaker to update you, though, on a brand new program we wanted to share. So as most of you probably know, I had made a comment that I wanted to spend my stimulus check money on being able to support local businesses by buying gift packages from them and having them delivered to some of the companies we work with. That's been pretty successful so far. I've done 13 of them. I've got another 5 or 6 in the queue this week. I'm going to do 24 total. So just a way to try to support particularly our small businesses, our bakeries, restaurants, cafes, things like this, florists during this tough time. Well, part of this conversation, we've engaged with the Shiawassee Regional Chamber of Commerce. Also, Wausau Main Street is involved on a new program, more of a formalized structure to be able to help employers engage in the community and be able to have their employees be able to spend dollars in some of these businesses and support local. It's called ShiaCash. And so I've asked, actually Jody on my team asked Sue Cadlick from the Shiawassee Regional Chamber if she could come on today. Susie's on most of our daily calls, but be able to talk about ShiaCash and what that means potentially for your business to engage in that program. So, Susie, if you're on, hit *6 and the floor is yours.
All right. Good morning, Justin. Can you hear me?
Yep, you're good.
Okay. All right. I'm calling from rural Middlebury Township, so I never know how my connectivity is. Okay, so ShiaCash, there is a great deal of information on our chamber website, and I know Justin and Josh Adams, Director of Wausau Main Street, have sent out information so you may have gotten the communication multiple times from our 3 organizations. So we're in the early stages of ShiaCash. As Justin said, our 3 organizations have partnered together to launch this program, and we've reached out to a few other business associations and chambers in our area, and they're going through their board of directors process to bring the program or to join in the program as well. So it truly will be a county-wide initiative. ShiaCash is community currency that's purchased through an online portal and can be used at participating merchants. The goal of ShiaNet is to provide our local business owners a tool to, maybe gain some new customers, but also help restart and grow their business. The one thing ShiaCash does is it finally brings a year-round buy local program to our community, and we're super excited to have multiple organizations supporting this effort. So again, truly makes it countywide and local. So how does ShiaCash work? Well, if you are a merchant that sells retail or even services where you accept money from local folks, you can sign up to accept ShiaCash. Every 2 weeks, then money for certificates that are spent in your store, your place of business, they are redeemed through, I want to back up. The ShiaCash program offers merchants an app that you download to your phone. So any ShiaCash certificate that is brought to your store and redeemed, you simply scan a QR code and automatically it redeems the certificate. And then every 2 weeks, you will receive a deposit in your bank account for ShiaCash that was received the previous 2 weeks. So it's very, very simple. to accept ShiaCash in your place of business. The technology is already there. Many chambers, specifically on the west side of Michigan, use this program. In fact, the company that's kind of the back end or the founder of ShiaCash is a Michigan-based company that is running all the technology. Many chambers use this program. So on the flip side, if you may not have retail type customers, but you think ShiaCash is a good idea, you can think of it as a corporate buying program. If you have several, employees that you want to buy a holiday gift for or some sort of bonus incentive, you can purchase ShiaCash in bulk amounts. And it makes it a win-win for our local community to have especially corporate support for this program. The cost of ShiaNet to the business that accepts is 8%, and that is because of the credit card processing fees on the back end through a company called Stripe. So every dollar that is spent, the business is refunded 92% of that purchase. And our three organizations are committed to promoting ShiaCash to our community. It's easy to purchase. It's easy to redeem. We think it's a win-win, and really our goal is to keep our dollars at home. So I'd love to take any questions that anyone has. And Justin, you've been part of all these conversations, so you may want to add. And I know our chamber president, Jeff Deason's on the line. He may want to add as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I've got a comment, but I don't. Jeff, if you want to say anything, hit star 6. Okay, maybe he's not. So yes.
Hey, can you hear me? Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Go ahead, Jeffrey.
I had the double mute going, so I couldn't be heard. But I did want to say I heard from the Greater Durand Chamber of Commerce this weekend, and they are also going to be participating in this program. So very excited about that. And I think it gives us a great opportunity to keep those funds in the county. So Sue did a great synopsis, but I did want to add that the Greater Durand Chamber of Commerce is also going to be participating in the program.
Perfect. Thank you, Jeffrey. And yeah, I mean, what I really like about this, it brings a good structure to local buying. So I know, not only the idea of, doing something nice for your employees during this time, gift packages or whatever, but yeah, what do you do around the holidays? Or even things like, buying lunches, buying other products. This, rather than companies having to try to figure out, where do I go? You can use this program to be able to spend those dollars in a formalized way. So I think it's a really good thing, and I think it's important not only now, but will be in the future to spend as much as we can to support our local economy. So yeah, to Sue's point, if you're a vendor, a small business that sells products locally, you want to get into that system. But also, if you want to buy products for your business and for your workers, you want to get into the system as well. So, Sue, what is the process if a business wants to get engaged?
Well, what we're looking for right now is we have the organizations behind ShiaCash. We're looking for some merchants to be early adopters of this program. And by being an early adopter, you agree to accept ShiaCash, but then also we're going to have some new marketing pieces that come out that announce the program. And as a business owner, your business will be listed on there as kind of one of the founding members that are willing to accept ShiaCash. So we'd ask that any retailer that wants to be on there sign up. On our chamber website, there is a page that's dedicated to ShiaCash right now. And at the very bottom, it says, just send us your email to enroll. And I'm sure that many of you on the call have Justin's email, you have Jeff's email, you have my email. So just if you want to be part of the program, just send one of us an email and we'll get you connected with all the information.
And I just sent that out, that email, so it's fresh on everybody's email chain, the press release that came out last week, Sue. So anybody have any questions or comments on this? Hit *6 on your phone. Any questions or comments for Sue? Okay, well, check your email, and then as Sue said, feel free to respond to that or get a hold of us, and we'd love to get you plugged into that system. Because I think, as I said, it's not only important now, but going forward, we do want to try to buy as much local as we can. So thank you, Susie. Okay, well, a lot of other things going on, a lot of updates, so let's just jump right in. I do want to talk about PPP for a minute. Interestingly enough, a little surprising, the flow in Washington of applications has slowed down tremendously for phase 2 of PPP. We've learned there's still about $120 billion left, so I'm a little bit surprised. I thought when they did round 2, there was enough pent-up demand. One of the concerns I did hear from folks was this concern over certifying that the PPP loan was needed, and that might have held some people off from applying. We did learn last week and did share this with all of you via email that as long as you borrow under $2 million, which I believe encompasses every single company in Shiawassee County, I think the largest we saw was 1.2 or 1.4, then you are considered certified. So you don't have to justify it, you don't have to show your books, anything like that. So hopefully that alleviates some concerns. That being said, I know most of you have already applied, received your money, but if you have not, know there is quite a bit of money still in that pot. But as we were talking about last week, the attention is turning to forgiveness. We did talk about a webinar last week that was held. We sent some information out on it from our friends in Detroit. Hopefully you watched some of that. I did just get an email about another tool, a PPP calculator. We'll share some information on that. And we do anticipate there being a couple of webinars this week. Jody's going to talk about an SBDC webinar here in just a second. And then we're also looking to do more of a regional one on Thursday morning. So more details to come on that. But that's PPP. EIDL, that one is actually still extremely backlogged, and they are not taking new applications. I had an email from a financial person this morning asking about that particular item. That one is not taking new apps unless you are an agriculture related business. So, we'll see what happens if they're going to add any more money to that pot or not. It sounds to me like they probably should shift some of the PPP money over to EIDL because talking to many of you on the phone, you need money for things other than payroll. So we'll see what happens. They did pass a bill in the House at the end of last week. I don't know what details it had for either of these funding programs, but we'll stay on that. But if anyone still wants to pursue any of that, please definitely let us know. A few more funding items, and once again, these are going to be somewhat familiar, but I want to keep mentioning them because they're time sensitive and they are grants. So Friday, we had Carolyn Casson from Michigan Women Forward on the call to talk about a program they're administering. It's a statewide grant for small business, also a micro loan as well. But it is available statewide, but Shiawassee County is a priority county. We're one of, I believe, 10 priority counties, and small business grants are available, I believe, between $1,000 and $5,000. So there are some restrictions on that. You've got to be under 50 employees. There's a few other things. We did send some emails out on that, but I would definitely encourage you to to pursue that if you're interested. Along with that, we are going to have a special guest speaker tomorrow. You've heard him on the call before, Chuck Donaldson. Chuck is our community assistance team member for the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. He handles the community development side for Shiawassee County. Tyler DeBrabander, who many of you know, handles the business development side. Chuck is going to come on and talk about a couple of items. The MI Local Biz, which is the crowdfunding program they're partnering with Patronicity on. So this is the grant where if you raise through crowdfunding up to $5,000, they will match $5,000 in grant money. So that's one he's going to talk about. And then he's going to also talk about Match on Main, which is a possible program to do more grant money through a local unit of government, DDA, economic development nonprofit. We want to learn about that so that maybe we can apply somehow as a community and then be able to re-grant those dollars to small business. So Chuck will be on to talk about those tomorrow. The other grant program I wanted to mention, and this was also talked about a week ago Monday, EDA, Economic Development Administration. This is a federal program. This one is not for business. It's for communities and nonprofits. And we've had probably half a dozen conversations with different communities over the last week about possible opportunities related to things like infrastructure, new industrial buildings, things of that nature. So definitely want to work with our communities on this, possibly putting in some kind of a multiple community application. I don't know what that looks like yet, but if anyone wants to learn more about that, it has to be, as I said, to either a government entity or nonprofit, and it has to be to support community or economic development that would stimulate private sector investment. So more to come on that. Jody, you've got a few things, a few webinars coming up.
I do. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So I know we always tell you about the SBDC webinars that are coming up. There are 2 this week that may be beneficial. One is tomorrow at 2. They're always at 2. It is for Paycheck Protection Process loan forgiveness. So it will walk you through maximizing the amount you'll be forgiven. It walks you through all of the details and the numbers. And then on Wednesday, the 20th, they have human resources reopening your business. So it walks through all of the HR roles so that you can prepare a response plan and be ready to open. And then there's one other webinar that I read about this morning through the U.S. Chamber of Commerce Foundation. They have a Path Forward series that they've been putting on, and they have Navigating the Return to Work. It will cover social distancing, sanitization, and more, how to create a healthy environment for your employees and customers. And that is at 3 o'clock on Thursday of this week. I did forward registration links to all 3 of those to Justin, and I know he's going to send those out.
Yes, I've got them right here, Jody. I will send those out today. Anything else you wanted to know?
Nope, I think that's it.
Can you touch, and you did talk about it last week, but I think it bears repeating, the WorkShare program and what's going on with that?
Yes. So with the WorkShare program, it's basically a program that allows you to, it was intended for people to be able to limit hours or cut back hours, basically, and then people could collect, your employees could collect partial unemployment, but they're actually looking at it a little differently now. As you reopen, if you're not able to reopen at full capacity, the WorkShare program is a good way to bring some of your employees back or bring them back at reduced hours, and then again fill part of those hours or part of what they're not making with unemployment. I did learn on a webinar last week. I know we had talked about when you're on the WorkShare program, it doesn't count against your unemployment account I do believe that it will as soon as the stay-at-home order is lifted. It sounded like you're covered until then, but then it can count against your unemployment account and as well as your employees' future unemployment that anything that they may need to draw in the future. So that is something to kind of look into. But you can use this if you're laying off or cutting hours, cutting hours by as little as 10% or up to 60%, you would qualify. You can have more than one work share plan for your business. They can each be up to 52 weeks. You can end it at any point, and this is all done by the employer. So the account is created by the employer through their MyWham account. You set up everything for your employees. The employees receive a letter saying they're a part of this. So it's all done by the employer, very easy for the employees. I did also learn last week, some employees have asked about being able to opt out and not actually have to be a part of the work share. If you set an employee up for work share, they do have to be a part of that plan. They can't just opt out to collect regular unemployment. You can't do both. They can't have a standard claim and a work share claim. So if you sign them up for work share, they cannot use a standard or cannot file a standard unemployment claim. Kind of all over the place. I'm just trying to recall some of the things that I learned that were new last week to me. If you have questions about it, you can let us know. But you do apply through the MyWham account or MyWham website by setting up an employer account for that program.
Okay. Thank you, Jody. Anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay. Just three more things. Talk about them pretty much every day, but I wanted to note as you reopen, or if you were open, as you continue to bring people back, we do have a spreadsheet. Jody actually maintains it for providers for either personal protective equipment or services like temperature screening. So that's been sent out to you once or twice by email, but if you'd like a copy of that, please email Jody, JROETHELE at SEDPweb.org. So I want to continue to note that. Also, I want to remind you, Memorial is offering testing, Memorial Healthcare, either the virus testing or the antibody testing for your workers. So you can visit their website, Memorial Healthcare, memorialhealthcare.org, and then their phone number is 989-720-2131 if you want to learn more about getting your people tested. And then, as always, jobs, if anyone's looking to hire, please let us know. We'd be happy to help promote. So a lot of stuff, mainly updates today. Really looking forward to Chuck Donaldson tomorrow to learn about those two new community development programs through MEDC. But that's about it for today. Does anyone have any comments or questions? It's *6. *6. And I would note too, Brett, yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Good morning. This is Jose Brown. Just wanting to throw something out that's a little bit different than the topic that we've been discussing.
Sure.
I know that there's a lot of implementation with regard to returning to the workforce or returning to the workplace, and the safety requirements and things of that nature that will be required, testing and temperature and all of that. I've been getting a few calls and requests about how to implement, unfortunately, reductions in workforce once we get back and running. And there are several significant federal regulations and state regulations that must be complied with if that has to happen. And, this, I don't want this to sound like a plug for our law firm or anything like that, Justin. I'm more than willing to help through the chamber and through you to give you and provide you with information for free the ways in which the reduction in workforce should occur. I don't know that there's as many concerns about it right now, because usually it's the bigger employers that are affected, those with more than 100 employees, because right now the economy is hitting them the hardest. But as some of the smaller businesses start to go back, I think that this will be an issue come summer, maybe even fall, when things don't start to pick up for the economy. So there are certain guidelines that need to be implemented, and there is a proper way to do it to avoid problems with lawsuits, and there's established reduction in workforce objectives that should be met. And I just wanted to let you know that I'm here, or someone from our firm will also assist in providing you with the information if you have those questions. So,
well, thank you, Jose.
You're welcome, Justin.
You've been great. Nancy has done tremendous work, and I think what I'd like to do, I think that's a very relevant topic. I think another topic, and I had this conversation earlier with somebody else, whether or not companies are properly implementing the guidelines. Are they doing what they need to do in terms of creating safety protocols? And what if their employees are not comfortable? What if people are not, wearing masks, or they're not disinfecting? And what are the legal ramifications of that kind of stuff too? So I think there are some significant questions here, and I think what we'll probably do, Jose, either you or Nancy or someone else on your team, maybe we could look to have you on our program later this week as our keynote speaker. So,
all right,
well,
that would be fine, Justin. I just don't want to put a pessimistic spin on things, but I know it's a concern. I've been getting questions about it, and HR doesn't know how to handle at many places. They're overburdened with issues also. So we received a lot of questions about these issues. So I just want to let you know, and we're there to help. Okay, you're welcome. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, and that's a great example. Oh, go ahead.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Justin.
Thanks, Jose.
Welcome.
Yeah, and that's a great example. And really at the heart of why we've been doing this now for, what are we on, week 9 or week 10, is we know there's a tremendous amount of uncertainty out there. There's a lot of questions about, procedures, protocols, legal issues. And so absolutely, that's why we've been communicating so much, why we have these calls, why we send all the emails out. We want to be able to funnel that information to our company so that you can make informed decisions. Yes, I think this is another good example. There are a lot of questions out there. And so, that is definitely something we'll put on an agenda, I think, hopefully later this week. And hopefully everyone finds value in that. So, okay, great comment, Jose. Any other comments or questions from folks? Anybody have anything else? Hit *6 if you do. And actually, that was also timely, too, because the one last comment I was going to make is we've had probably 20 to 25 speakers on over the last several weeks. We've hit many, many topics. But if there's something we have not talked about yet that is giving you concern, that you would like information on, you would like an expert speaker to talk about, it could be money related, legal related, HR, customer related, whatever, please let us know because we want to be able to provide that information to you. So I'll probably send out an email requesting that as well later today. So anything else before we wrap for this morning? *6. Okay, well, thank you, everybody. Have a good Monday. We'll be back on tomorrow with Chuck from the MEDC. Thanks.